Sound check. Is it working? Can you hear me? I haven't let anybody know that I'm going live, so I'm going to send those texts out super quick. And I'm going to change it from the top chat to the live chat. I recommend everybody do that. If you're not familiar, our screens revert or they default to top chat, and then you don't see everybody's chat. So you have to manually hit that little downward arrow next to where it says top chat, hit that arrow, and then tap on live chat. So I have 2 people in the house, even though I didn't text my mods. So thank you for being here, you guys. And man, where should I start? I just found out today that Bibi is Jared's godfather. You know, Jared is married to Ivanka. I couldn't believe it. And I couldn't believe that I didn't know this. Did you guys know this already? So Biggly Piggley's son-in-law is Bibi's godson. That's a conflict of interest. Hey, Anna Bees. Okay, good. I don't need to text you, my dear. Granny Annie. Hey, I am unmuted. Yay. Did you guys know this about Bibi and Jared Kushner? No, I'm in shock. I know. Christine, lovely to see you. I just found out today on a Rosie's Insights video, and I put the link in the description already. And that was one of the main reasons why I came on live, is I was just like, I've got to share this with people. This is effing crazy. How did we not know this? That makes it even worse, doesn't it? I mean, it's pretty bad. So basically, Bibi is not only in a bromance with Biggly Piggley, they're family. It's not surprising because that's how they act. But it's insane. Is it not? Let's see. Is there anyone else I need to? Yeah, just a couple of people I need to text real quick. And how are you guys doing today? Thanks so much for coming in. I had so much fun with you guys last night. 3 hours. It was like a marathon. And I even tried to review it all, but of course I fell asleep while I was reviewing it, which is good because I do need to sleep. But yeah, I wanted to see where it cut out and stuff like that. All right, I think I have everybody texted that I need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I didn't need to text you, my dear, because you're already here. And Christine and Granny Annie, if you guys want me to text you, just email me your phone number, and then I can text you when I'm coming on live. So feel free to do that. You know my email. I'm pretty sure I've gotten emails from you, Christine. I know for sure I get a lot from Annie, and I appreciate every one of them. My email address is JusticeATooZ @gmail.com. And do you like my hat? I love this beach. Beach. I love this beach. I love this hat. I've worn it a couple of times, but I've never pointed it out to you guys. So yeah, Christine says, no, I am in shock. Anna B says, OMG, I did not know this. And let's see. Well, it all makes sense now. Exactly. Did you see the funny song I emailed you? No, not yet. Did you just email it since last night? Beach, not biatch, like your midwife. I know. I love saying biatch, but I like saying beach too. I have a friend whose last name is Beach, and every time I left them a voicemail back in the days of voicemail, I couldn't help but say, "What's up, beaches?" I was just like, I hope I don't offend you, and I hope you don't get sick of it. I know it's repetitive and stupid, but I just can't resist. What's up, beaches? So Those were friends in Washington State. So everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of hoping to start a conversation, open up a discussion, learn something, be educational. All of my videos are made for the tube of you and me, and it's an infotainment platform. So one of the 6, what are these soldiers that went down on the fueling flight? I think they're called National Air Guardsmen, if I got that right. I don't know if I even wrote it down, but I kept looking at it trying to get it right. National Air Guardsmen. So the 6 of the 6 that passed away, one of them is from Washington State, not too far from Seattle, like right on the edge of King County. It was a town I had not ever even heard of. I know it as a Kentucky town, which is right across from Cincinnati. What's the Kentucky town right across the river from Cincinnati? It's where the Newport Aquarium is. Oh, total brain freeze. I'll have to look. And of course, probably as soon as I pick up my phone, my brain will work. Newport Aquarium. It's right on the edge of my brain, completely locked up. But that's not right. No, not Newport. Where's the town that Washington State Air National Guard. It doesn't even say where this one was that died. And then the other 3 are all from freaking Columbus, Ohio, you guys. Washington State Air National Guard that died. All 3 from Columbus, Ohio. Covington. So there's Covington, Kentucky. And I did not know that there was a Covington, Washington. I had to look at it on the map. I was thinking that must be Eastern Washington because I've never heard of it and I've never lived in Eastern Washington. And yeah, it's King County. It's the same county as Seattle. It's the county that I worked for. So I never even had like a mental health emergency crisis in Covington, but it's not far from a whole sad story that I won't get into. Well, since I brought it up, I guess I have to. The man who made his wife disappear in the middle of the night when they lived in Utah and they had 2 little boys and he went camping with them at midnight. And then when a Child Protective Services worker was picking them up from his house for a routine visit, he, trigger warning, he slaughtered the kids with a hatchet and blew up the house with himself and the kids in it. And this poor Child Protective Services worker was calling 911 and they were giving her a hard time. And then the house blows up. You know, she's calling them because she's like, I'm with Child Protective Services and he's not cooperating. He's not giving me the kids. And they're like, well, what do you want us to do? And she's like, well, you need to come out and enforce the law. And then she's like on the phone with him and she's like, oh my God, the house just blew up. That was probably like 15 years ago. I think it was right after we moved to Ohio. But anyway, Covington's not far from there. But that's right outside of King County. That's Pierce County. So sorry to like take a left turn there, but back on track. So 3 of those 6 guardsmen are from Columbus, Ohio. Why all of this tragedy in Ohio and especially Columbus when we still haven't digested the whole Les Weck's 5-hour deposition. Personally, I haven't watched the whole thing yet, and I'm dying to. I was going to get to it last night, and like I said, fell asleep, and I'm hoping to get to it tonight because I think I've watched like almost the first half of it. Let's see. Yes, emailed right after the live. Michael McAllister, hey, how are you? Nice to see you. I have never heard of Covington either, Granny Annie says. Oh, right, because you used to live in King County. That's right. Just spent 8 summers there. Sad when we lose military. Well, and what's even worse is it sounding more and more like they were shot down in a safe airspace, but it's being said that they crashed, like blaming the victim. And if they did crash, so then it's like saying that they made mistakes at their jobs. And it doesn't sound like this crew is likely to have made those mistakes. These were extraordinarily well-seasoned crews. These were not newbies. And if the military is lying and saying that, the plane just blew itself up or, crashed or whatever, and blaming the victims for their own demise, if in fact they were victims of a war crime, whether it's enemy fire or friendly fire. But it sounds like there was a mishap with Iran. It sounds like it was Iran that might have shot them down. That's just my opinion. I don't know what you guys have heard, but there's just all this crazy, like, I don't think we can trust anything right now. None of it. None of it. As the world turns, Christine says. Hello, hello. I remember that case. So sad. Yeah, it was awful. And that guy was so vile. Susan Powell is the woman's name, the mother that disappeared in the middle of the night when they lived in Utah. Susan Powell. And I think his name was Chris Powell. And then it was a couple of years later, I think, when he blew himself and the kids up. But his dad was a sick, horrible man who was always like lusting after Susan and pretended like they had an affair or something. I mean, this was some twisted crap. And I don't think they've ever found her remains. And those poor boys, I mean, I hate to say it, it's almost good that they're not trying to deal with all of the pieces of their lives being shattered like that, losing their mom when they were so tiny. I want to say they were like 3 and 4 or something, with the ridiculous camp trip at midnight when it was like seriously cold out. Let's see, get caught up with you folks. So how is everybody doing tonight? It is Sunday the 15th. It's St. Patty's Day Eve. I was going to wear my my lucky charm. I wore it a few days ago. Some of you guys might remember. I'll wear it tomorrow. I'll try to get on live tomorrow. It'll have to be earlier in the day. So just to give you guys a warning, I'll try to schedule it and have it online so that it doesn't catch you off guard. I'll probably shoot for like 3 o'clock, somewhere around there. Let's see. Hello, hello, the military. You mean Keg's breath? Yeah, well, and it's our dear leader who has said that it was a mishap. But I guess it would be between Keg's breath and Biggly Piggley. There'll have to be an investigation, and then they say it's under investigation now. But the other one that I really wanted to speak with you guys about is the Iranian school. Have you guys heard that was a double tap? The Iranian school where somewhere around 160 young girls between the ages of, what were they, like 8 and 11, I want to say, were obliterated. It was not only a double tap. Witnesses say it may very well have been a triple tap. It was not an accident. It was a double tap, maybe a triple tap. Again, I had not heard that. One of my mods told me that it was a double tap just in the last 24 hours. And I was like, really? I hadn't heard that. And I looked it up. Eyewitnesses. And Iran, too, has not had internet access for the last like 3 weeks, I think. I mean, this is so bad, you guys. I mean, I'm just waiting for all of us to lose our internet access and we will shrivel up and die, right? I mean, I always look at those things like kind of a gift because then I'll connect more in person with people that I know. Because I like to connect with my internet friends. It's so convenient and it's so much fun. And it's nice. Birds of a feather flock together, or as I like to say, freaks of a feather flock together. Okay, let me get caught up with all your comments here. Susan Powell's dad-in-law was gross. Absolutely. I'm glad you guys remember that case. Susan Powell seemed like a really, really nice, good, interesting individual. But man, she had horrible taste in a douchebag of a husband, didn't she? Michael McAllister says, wow, that is very upsetting, everyone. The thing about the triple tap, the double tap on the school, yeah, because they tried to say, oh, well, we didn't do it on purpose. We didn't know what we were doing. And we had information that was like 12 years old. And so we thought it was a military base and we were just blowing up a military base. But no, they're monitoring themselves. That is a huge fat lie. And if they did have information that was 12 years old, then everybody needs to be fired for that because that's absurd. That's absolutely absurd. But this whole war is absurd, in my opinion. It is so sad. Hard to believe that stuff happens. Isn't St. Patty's Day on the 17th? Oh, is it, Annabes? See, it's my husband's birthday tomorrow. And I always think of his birthday being St. Patty's Day, but maybe sometimes it's St. Patty's Day. And sometimes you're probably right. I haven't really looked. Doing better today. And ice taken my stepbrother. What? Andy, that has been an American for 26 years now, since the year 2000 or 1999. So yes, my family is very devastated right now, especially my sister. I am so sorry, Michael. That's tragic. That is so scary. Do you know where he's being detained at? That is awful. I've been in those ICE facilities in Seattle, and they're bad. They're horrible. And this whole situation is even worse than the normal, the routine situation. Heartbroken. I am so sorry. I heard 7 to 13 years old. Yes, I think Keith Edwards said it. Yeah. So Keith Edwards, I put a link to his video from a couple hours ago. I already put the link in the description of this video. And that's a whole nother issue. Thank you for bringing him up. That I wanted to focus on is the rumors on the interweb, the what do we call it? Like the streets of the YouTube, I think that's what we call it, the streets of YouTube. The rumors are that Bibi is not alive or gravely injured. And I wasn't really paying much attention to it until the last couple of days. And Keith Edwards just did a video where it's just like a 10-minute video. I highly recommend it. And he breaks down the AI videos that they've released as proof of life. And they're definitely AI. Like the ear is like completely effed up. The hands are weird. And the pocket, like he puts his hand in his pocket and his pocket like moves over his hand like it's alive. And he's holding a coffee and he's like spilling it, except that it doesn't spill. It's like the coffee is like going higher than the edge of the cup, but it never spills. And there's other weird things in the video too. Plus, like the beginning of the video, I didn't even think it was him. And then as he's playing the video, I'm like, oh, okay, that does look like Bibi. But then it's not him. It's like the ear is crazy. The like this part, I don't even know what you call this. Oh, it's the tragus. I know that that's called the tragus because I do a thing with the tragus in my yoga routine where you push on the tragus to do your honey bumblebee breaths. Anyway, the tragus, it's like this little part of cartilage that kind of sticks out. And Keith puts Bibi's tragus next to the tragus of what looks like the artificial intelligence proof of life. And the tragus is whack. It's like, it's huge. It like almost like takes up the whole like inner ear. It's like really tall and wide. It's bizarre. That's not his ear. That's nobody's ear. Nobody has an ear like that unless like they had surgery or something. Oh, Granny Annie, well, thank you. St. Patty's Day is always March 17th, and my husband's birthday is always March 16th. But I just think of them as being like one and the same day. See, my brain is crazy like that. Like once I get my wires crossed, they're crossed for good. There's no one crossing them. So you'll have to re-explain it to me again next year. And I have to apologize for all the wax on my teeth. I was going to try to do the video without the wax. And then I tried to use less. And I know I have less on, but it's kind of like jetting out more. So that's why I'm like smoothing it down. I got that appointment tomorrow morning, and hopefully they'll redo them and they won't be like stabbing me in the inside of my lips as much. It's crazy. It's like having all these needles like stabbing at my lips from the inside of my mouth. I don't know what's wrong with me or my braces or my orthodontist. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to like point the finger. I think it's me. I think I'm just a wuss is how I try to frame it. Anyway, let's get back on track here. I'm doing better except for my brother Andy. Okay, that one I read. Wait, no. Where are we? Let me back up a little bit. My sister's very heartbroken. Okay. I'm so sorry to hear that, Michael. I hope he's able to come home back soon. Sending prayers. Yeah, where is he? I want to know where he is. If you know, hopefully you guys know where he is. I'm doing better except for my brother Andy that has been taken away from New York on the way back home to Saginaw, Michigan. And yes, I do, Chaz. And that's so nice that you live in Michigan. Michigan is gorgeous. I love Michigan. Thank you very much, Anna Bees. Michael says, I've heard the rumor, but I haven't really paid attention to it. Yeah, you'll appreciate this Keith Edwards video that I linked up in the description. So much AI now, hard to differentiate. And if you watch the video at regular speed, it's hard to catch all the little things that Keith is talking about. He has to like freeze frame it and slow it down to see the fingers like blurring out. Some of that can be, glitches with your camera. But the thing with the ear, I don't think so. And the thing with the coffee, I don't think so. For him, he said it's the pocket like moving over his hand that really sells it to him personally. And I agree, like that's a huge point to hang your hat on for sure. But the whole thing, I mean, there were things like the people in the background. So I think when we see AI videos, they usually don't have people in the background. So they're improving them by putting a person in the background, but then the person is just like completely still and frozen. And then there's another person in the background on the other side of the frame. And so when that other frozen person comes in, then the first frozen person starts moving, but they don't move at the same time. Only one of the background extras, let's call them, for like double, triple proof of life, basically. My sister Tammy has paid for the lawyer to get my brother Andy back from ICE, but they're definitely taking their sweet time, and God bless you forever and ever. Amen. Everyone. Amen. Oh man. And so expensive. I just hope he's okay. I mean, that has got to be so hard on you and your whole family and him. I really hope that you get it done ASAP, Jazz. Oh, the braces. So I've had them for, I think almost 7 months, 8 months. I think I've had them for 8 months now. I think I got them in August. So yeah, 8 months. So next month, I'm halfway through because it's for 18 months. So that's crazy. I can't believe that I'm halfway through almost because it's just felt like forever. And have so much trouble getting through a day and an hour, and they're hateful, they're torturous. But my teeth are getting so straight, it's awesome, and I don't have that gap anymore that they were fixing. So, but man, they suck. And I'm learning how to eat like better. Like I think I have better nutrition now than I ever have. But I eat a lot of soup and smoothies, and then I eat solid food that I have to chew like probably twice a day usually, but it's just such a hassle. So I just have to make really smart choices about the food that I eat. So a lot of vegetables in the soup and in the smoothies, and then a lot of protein like lentils and cheese and tofu, chicken, meat. I'm a carnivore. I like meat. We were supposed to get married on St. Patty's Day, but my hubby canceled it because he went out with his friends. So we didn't get married until the 19th. That's hilarious. So he did the green beer thing. Like green beer is a big thing in Ohio. It's a big thing. Your braces are giving you normal issues. I had to eat lettuce at luncheons. Oh my goodness. Eating salad is like a nightmare. And I love salads. I love them. But instead, I'm just trying to get all my vegetables in the soup and in the smoothies because it's such a job. And then your teeth are just like, it's like full of like lawn clippings. Like you seriously can't talk to anybody until you have them like brushed and tooth water picked, and it's quite a project. That's what it is it's a project. Yes, he is in Louisiana right now. Damn, all the way from Michigan to Louisiana. That's so stupid. That's so stupid. But at least he's still in the country. I mean, that's reassuring, right? I hope he gets home soon, Michael. Thank you very much, Annabise. I can't believe that after 26 years, and he's married, so he should have like a green card or whatever, right? I mean, it sounds like he's completely a citizen, isn't he? A legal citizen. Thank you very much, Annabise, and God will bring him home safely soon. Prayers for Michael's brother-in-law. I don't know if he drank green beer, but he was half Irish, so he felt like he had to celebrate every St. Patty's Day. And if he drank Guinness, which is a great beer, Guinness Stout, you can't make that green because it's so dark. So back then, there were hardly any like microbrews, right, before he passed away. I mean, there were microbrews, but not like there are today. Today, there's so many. Yes, and paperwork. Okay, where's my notebook? Speaking of paperwork. So how's my lighting? How's my hair? How's all that stuff? Here's the thumb. Please hit your like button if you'd be so kind. Let me try to stand it up without knocking things down on the set. There's the sign that says make sure you're still subscribed, share a video of mine with somebody that you think might like my channel, and turn on your notification bell to ring. And let's get into the rest of it. What do I got for you guys? So I wrote this down, that at least Biggly Piggley and Brendan Carr, the guy that owns CBS, I think I said his name was, I couldn't remember his name yesterday, and I just grasped at Andrew Carr, but it's Brendan Carr. At least with their statements that they've been releasing on social media that I read to you guys in the video yesterday, I read you the ridiculous thing Trump posted with the 3 sections. And I think a lot of people have been covering that. And then I read you the thing that Brendan Carr posted about people getting on tracker. They're going to lose their license for broadcasting. At least they're putting it right out there, right out front, which tells me that they're not able to do it because they're trying to threaten. They're trying to say, look, we're so powerful and this is what we're doing and this is what we're going to do. But if they could do it, they wouldn't say anything about it. They would just do it. Like, they wouldn't want to give people the heads up, right? So at least there's that. Does that make sense? Telling us their insane desires, if they were actually able to do them, they would just do it without announcing it. But yeah, they were letting us know how effing insane they are, which we already knew, right? So Midas Touch today, this morning, dropped a video. I think they're watching my videos and stealing content from me, but I'm kidding. Truth to every joke, but I'm kidding. I just think I've been right for a long time. And Midas Touch saying it is kind of validating. They're saying that the Trumpster fire is looking for a 9/11 type of situation to distract from the Trumpstein files. And I just wish that they would go the rest of the distance and investigate the possibility that part of the 9/11 catastrophe, tragedy, terrorist attack might have been to distract from Chandra Levy's missing persons case that could have outed Gary Condit as being involved in criminal activity with her disappearance. But even worse, just kind of opening the door to all of that type of criminal activity that goes on in Washington, D.C. Because pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, almost every politician has their little side chick intern that if they get pregnant or they threaten to tell people or they get inconvenienced, they just off them. It's like a thing. It's really common as far as I know from what I've been told. So, Chandra Levy was of age. She was 23 and she was an intern. I think she was 23, like Monica Lewinsky when she was an intern. And I mentioned to you guys, tell me if you had heard this before, but I had gathered information over the years. It was years into the whole Monica Lewinsky scandal that the reason why she saved the blue dress that had Bill Clinton's DNA on it wasn't because she was crazy in love and wanted a souvenir of their affair. It was because she feared that she was going to be rubbed out. She gave that dress to her weirdo friend, Linda Tripp, to use as evidence to solve the case if she went missing, allegedly. Right? So trying to hide the whole thing with Chandra Levy and Gary Condit with an international disaster of a terrorist attack of the Twin Towers of epic proportions seems pretty outlandish. And it wasn't until just the last few months that I thought maybe that was a thing. I always thought that Gary Condit just got lucky and struck gold because that tragedy saved his rear end, in my opinion. And it could be that they were afraid of that opening the Pandora's box to all of the, I don't want to say the wrong word, all of the transporting, and then the underage transporting, because Chandra wasn't being transported that we know of, and she wasn't underage, but that could have opened the Pandora's box to that could be a motivation of why they would go to such epic lengths and proportions to distract from that situation. It's just a theory that I've had, but I've for months, it's probably been for 6 months or more that I've been saying that Donnie Two Dolls is hoping and praying for a 9/11 type of distraction to make the whole thing go away. And that's, I think, what he's been doing in Iran. But it's become such a catastrophic event of epic proportions, the way he's said, we've had an excursion. It's not a war, and it's an excursion. And it's like, people are like, don't you mean an incursion? Because an incursion is like a fight, a violent outbreak. An excursion is like a 3-hour tour that they took for Gilligan's Island that they never came back from. An excursion is a trip, like going to an amusement park or a museum, walking in the park. That's an excursion. But an incursion is what he's trying to say. And anyway, it's a war. It's an excursion. Maybe it's both. It's over. We won, but we're going to keep doing it until I feel in my bones that we're really, really done. Like, these are not making sense at all. Not at all. But I think he's going to have to bust out the Trumpstein files to distract from the freaking war. He's handling it so poorly. And all of his freaks of his cabinet are handling it so poorly. Maybe no one as bad as Lindsey Graham, who's just like a kid in a candy shop, just giddy as all get out. And then if Netanyahu is deceased or gravely injured, and I'm wondering the same thing about the Ayatollah Khamenei's son that we haven't heard anything from. We haven't seen any proof of life video or audio or photographs, nothing. I've wondered the same thing about him. It is nuts. But Jared Kushner is Bibi's godchild. And Bibi's son is friends with Erica Kirk. I got a picture of them to prove it. Okay. What say you guys? And I didn't want to stay on too late tonight. What time is it? It's just like 10 minutes after 9. It's not too late. But I wasn't going to be doing any like 2 or 3 hour video, just to give you guys a heads up. These are the main things I wanted to discuss. But if there's things that you guys want to discuss, please fill me in. And yeah, let's get with your comments. Here we go. Oh, I missed a whole bunch of comments. I apologize. Okay, the microbrew. We had one microbrew here in Kansas City, even back in 1985 when we got married. Boulevard Beer, awesome. Got an emergency telephone call, so missed almost all of this. Oh, well, thanks for letting us know, Christine. And Michael says, hello, Christine, is everything okay? Yeah. It's going to be the COVID-19 or aliens, probably people in the world. Michael, I'm glad you brought up COVID-19 because that's another thing in the Bibi Proof of Life video that Keith Edwards breaks down in the 10-minute video that I linked up in the description here. People in the coffee shop are wearing masks. So it was probably during COVID. And yeah, that's just another weird thing. Because I didn't even notice that. I think ever since COVID-19, you don't notice people wearing masks so much. Because sometimes people still do, right? Because there's still health issues. Before COVID-19, it was always insane when you saw somebody wearing a mask, like Michael Jackson, like you're like, oh my God, what's wrong with them? But since COVID-19, like we don't even think twice when somebody's wearing one. Let's see. But was Barry Conduit that important? Oh, was that his name? Condit. Was it Barry Condit? No, I don't think he was that important. I think that keeping a tight lid on the situation was what was important. Where'd my phone go? It's right here under my book. It's so good that I have my little watch. And Patricia's like, be there in 20 minutes. Okay. Gary Condit. Yes. See, all I have to do is touch my phone and then my brain gets back on track. Gary Condit was a nobody. I mean, he was just like a senator, I think, or a rep. I think he was the senator from California, from Modesto, from like the same area that Scott Peterson and Lacey Peterson were from. And then that Scott Peterson, Lacey Peterson tragedy happened right after 9/11. Right? Because I was pregnant with my first child. 9/11, I was like 4 months pregnant. And then at Christmas, I think Lacey's due date was in February, if I'm remembering right. And my due date was in March. So of 02. So when she went missing, unless I'm getting my wires crossed, didn't she go missing the Christmas right after 9/11? Let's see. Cannot connect. Uh-oh, I'm going to lose my... I hope I don't lose my thing. Like we did last night. Lacey Peterson. No. So she passed away a whole year later. Okay, so we weren't pregnant at the same time. She passed away on December 24th, 2002. So my little girl was 9 months old. That was like my first Christmas as a mom. But they got married on my birthday, which, I mean, I always felt really triggered by their case. I think because of being a new mom and because Scott Peterson was so much like my dad. So much like my dad. And Lacey and Amber Fry, too. I mean, they were both just really interesting people. And it was just tragic what this mofo did to them. But I'm glad I looked that up. Okay. So her red rum was a whole year and 3 months after 9/11. See, I get my wires crossed. I do. And I like it when I check myself or if somebody else checks me. I don't mind being incorrect. I just want to get straightened out so that I'm not being misinformative, because that's the worst, is spreading incorrect information. Nobody wants to do that, or at least I don't want to do that. I guess some people don't care, which is insane. Anyway, 9/11, along with a totally different building, collapsed. New owner of building had great insurance, sick emergencies. Yeah, Granny Annie. I know that there were other buildings right there that collapsed, but I've never really known much about them. If you know things and you want to share, please do. Sorry, I'm way behind. Let me get caught up. Yes, some friends had a rollover in this bad storm coming home from Minnesota, but all are good. Thank the Lord. Oh, Christine, I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, we had crazy wind yesterday. Crazy. And then today we had some wind. It wasn't anywhere near like yesterday. So glad they are okay, Christine. Yeah. Monica was wise to fear being deleted, wasn't she? She was really wise. I know. I mean, that's how they roll. That's what they do. And Christine says, thank you for asking. Thank God that they are doing well, Christine. Yeah, absolutely. Right, Chaz. He's so stupid. Excursion. I know. I mean, honestly, I didn't know what an incursion was. I had to look it up, but I'm like, it's exactly what he's talking about. And he says excursion like 12,000 times. And I could only imagine that either somebody has tried to correct him and he's just like, yeah, F off, or that nobody will ever correct him because they're afraid, of being the messenger with the bad news. Off with their head. You don't correct the man, right? You just let him make a fool of himself, because he can just rewrite the definition of excursion, right? He has the power to do that with his brain. All he has to do is think it, and it's so. Pray that they will be able to get to a new vehicle from flipping over in the vehicle. God bless everyone. Everyone, amen. Yeah, if you have good insurance, then everything should be fine. I mean, if you're not injured. If you are injured, even like whiplash effects that show up weeks later, that really sucks. It's a huge inconvenience. As you guys know, my 18-year-old has wrecked 3 cars in the last 12 months, but not really wrecked. Like, the first one, I think, was my minivan that it just like seized up when he was driving it. So that was not an accident. It just seized up. And then the second one, I think, was the teenage car that we gave him that he hit a deer with on a trip to New York coming back. And thank goodness he was okay. And then just like a month ago, he had a fender bender at an intersection that ended up totaling his car. And again, thank goodness he was okay. When the situation happened in Pennsylvania a few months ago, I drove 5 hours to go pick him and his girlfriend up because their car was totaled. It was late at night, and they got a hotel room, and then I got in my car and got there to drive them home. It was a huge inconvenience, but I was just happy that I was able to do it. I was happy that they were okay. And so it's amazing that he hasn't gotten hurt in any of the 3 incidences. And the deer is obviously not his fault. It's just that he didn't need to take that road trip. And I think he sees that now. That it's like, you don't take road trips that aren't like, I don't know, kind of pressing, because it takes a lot of time and money, and then there's the risk. So anyway, then the one that was just recent was just like routine stuff. And yeah, I'm just so grateful that he hasn't been hurt in any of them. And I hope your friends aren't hurt, Christine. Like, that is so traumatic, rolling over in a car. Ugh. Because, yeah, there was tornado watch here in Ohio today, and maybe tomorrow too, I think. So I think I did have a dream last night of a tornado that I had forgotten about. Because, I've been telling you guys about my dreams lately. Anyway, pray that they will be able to get a new vehicle from flipping over in the vehicle. God bless everyone. Yeah. And that maybe they can get a rental car right on the spot, and that they get cashed out for the accident, that they can get a maybe even a better vehicle. Let's not talk about I know, Granny Annie. I was gonna look that up some more today. The ball bags, the demon bags. That is scary censorship, but that product was so blatant. It was insane. And I don't know, my first video, do you guys remember? Did it get cut off before I was showing the image on my phone? because I when I was trying to review the video, I think I fell asleep during part of it, and so I didn't catch that, and I really wanted to catch that. But I did show it on my cell phone in the second video, and it's not like censored out. But that is the creepiest crap. Anyway, let me get caught up. So when I ask you guys a question like that and you answer it, and when I read it, then I know what the F you're talking about. Cause I'm like, wait, what? That was like 4 minutes ago. I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. That was scary censorship. That product was so blatant, so blatant. That was weird last night. Hey, I don't even look how to spell anyone's names. I've been thinking about the cyber attacks. I'll have to take up crocheting with Y add hands. I don't know what you meant to type there. But yeah, if we have a cyber attack, I guess I'll be making more jewelry, right? And doing some more gardening. Because I was going to clean up my yard today from the windstorm, but I didn't. Just, it's so overwhelming. And then also I'm like, there's probably going to be more wind. And so I don't want to have to deal with it more than once. It's so much work. There's probably like 1,000 sticks to pick up. And, I'd be so lucky to get some help from my family. My bad hands. Bye. Gotta go. Have a good night. Yes, you too. And let's see. Thanks for coming in. Where was I? Oh, I think, okay, right here. Michael's, I'm going to pin it. Oh man, it just keeps jumping around. See, oh, look, my thing is working. Let me see if I can, I'm going to pin this one and get caught up to where you're at. Oh, thank goodness my thing is working because it's so annoying when it's not. It's really like impossible to be pinning your comments, which it's nice to be able to pin the comments. Excursion, pray that they will be able to get a new car. Let's not talk about the demon bags. Scary censorship. Here, let's tag that one. And I don't ever look how to spell anyone's names. I've been thinking about the cyber attacks, my bad hands. Bye, gotta go. Good night. Good night, Christine. Again, if you're still in earshot, thanks for coming in and hanging out and saying good night. Taking up crocheting is a great idea to stay warm inside the house and for dressing up the doggies and cats. That is so cute, Michael. I love it. I love it. That is hilarious. That's the best. Yes, we can't talk about the demon bags. Taking up, Christine, good night. Thanks for stopping by. Snowed here today. Oh my goodness. Have a great night tonight. God bless everyone. Amen. Good night, Christine. And yesterday was 65 for you, Annabise. It was like 73 here, I think. It was, or that was today. Today was 73. I can't remember what it was yesterday. That was way too long ago. I think it was just like around 50 yesterday. The wind was so insane. It was so crazy. It was like, I have nothing to compare it to. It was like the Wizard of Oz. I mean, like it seemed like a tornado, which is probably why I dreamt about a tornado last night, because I don't think I even knew that there was a tornado watch today. Right now in Saginaw, Michigan, we are under high winds and a winter storm warning, an ice storm, over 1/10 of an inch of rain, which is a lot of water in a very short time. Oh, yikes. See, I love storms as long as nobody gets hurt. As long as no one gets hurt. Yeah. I hope that everything stays safe. Good night, Anna Bees. Michael McAllister says yes, definitely 100% crazy weather right now in Saginaw. That is a lot of rain. Didn't see the image. Oh, the image of I can pull it up again. We can look at the demon bag again. Let's see. And let's see if I just type in demon bag, but it brings up cute demon bags. I don't even remember what the first letters were. Wasn't it like BAGL? They were like teddy bear demons. S&M. I did not screenshot it. Yeah, here we go. Ugh. That's the image that I showed last night. Are you ready? Trigger warning for anybody who hasn't seen it. So this is supposedly a teddy bear purse, and this is the advertisement for it. Dangling between someone's legs, and it looks like they're running in the mud without clothes on. And it's insanity. It's absolute insanity. I do remember seeing the ads now that because this is, again, trigger warning. This is just so pathetic with this adorable, cute little redhead baby girl that looks like she's no older than 5, maybe. And she's like standing on a bed with that demon thing. And she's wearing all black. And there's a purple one. It's some twisted crap. This looks like another advertisement. So this is like a teenager that's like beaten up with, see the black eye and the blood under the nose, holding up the bag. And it doesn't look like she's wearing a shirt under the hoodie sweat jacket that's kind of unzipped a little bit. Oh, so gross. The Bellens, you were trying to help me say it last night, Annabise. Balenciaga conspiracy theory. How did this even happen? I'll tell you how it happened. There's some sick MF freaks. Oh, man. The original design, Hell Gothic Lolita bear. So why calling it Lolita? That's pretty bad right there. And I don't want to get sucked into this. So this is the Lolita bear. Are you guys ready? Again, trigger warning. There's a person, like it looks like an adult-sized hand, holding a sharp-edged object. Sorry that my phone is glaring the light, so you can't really see the sharp-edged object right here. But you can see the bear in the S&M crap. And then it's like, what is this? Like red yarn. Um, the original Hell Gothic Lolita bear. Damn. I just want to take it back to this other one. Like, this isn't as bad, but it's still, I mean, this is more like punk rock. It's not like, but now it's gonna like get this nasty algorithm in my phone probably. Um, so see that teddy bear with like safety pins across its tummy. Yeah, and it takes me to like what looks like the kind of stuff that would be in the Trumpstein files. Unbelievable. I better quit looking at this stuff. But I want to show you this one because I hadn't, there's a couple that I haven't seen right here. The downfall of the demonic Demna and that company. So this is from the ad campaign. So at least this set of legs has clothing on it. But again, like running through the mud with the running shoes, like, so basically like a runaway. That's what they're trying to conjure up, is a runaway, because those people are unfortunately victimized quite often. So yeah, I guess they got themselves canceled, and then they tried to say it was, oh, just a big misunderstanding. We didn't know what we were doing. And here is another ad from their ad campaign, and it's, I'm sure there's some weird stuff in this picture, but the little child's face is blurred out, and they're just like in a weird playroom. There's like little kids stuff, and then there's like adult stuff too. And it has the name of that demon bag company. Oh my goodness, there's a freaking ski mask. Like, why would you have a ski mask in the playroom with the little kid? See that? So there's the little kid's red shoe, and then there's the ski mask on the ground. Okay, enough of that crap. And yes, it was cut off before you showed us the bag. Oh, was it? Okay. Good to know. They put the evil bags in the dolls and in beds. Yeah. We are having flooding in certain areas of Michigan. Tornado in dreams means emotional turbulence, feeling out of control. Yeah, absolutely. I've never seen a real tornado in real life, but I've like seen them with my naked eye in a dream once or twice. I didn't see one in my dream last night. I don't think, I just knew that there was one afoot. But we had like 3 tornadoes come like right over our house a few years ago. It was like this trifecta that like tore through Dayton. It did so much damage, and we were just, our little area was one of the areas that was spared. You know, driving around, you'd see like neighborhoods that were just demolished, but then there'd be like one house that was fine. But like our whole neighborhood was fine. The damage, the closest damage was probably like 3 miles away. But it was a bad night. I mean, there was like a lot of thunder and lightning, and me and the kids, I want to say my husband was working that night, and me and the kids were all like in a bathroom in the center of the house with the pets. And, you know, it was a long time that we were in there, and it was late, and I got really tired. And so I just went to bed, and my bedroom is upstairs, like in a loft area, which is nice when you want to watch the lightning storm, which I like to do. But that night it was so bad. There was so much lightning and it was just like cracking right over my roof. I didn't expect that it wasn't going to hit us, but I was so tired I just fell asleep anyway. I was like, this is really stupid for me to get into my bed and sleep, but I did, and we were okay. We were really lucky. That was the closest that I've been to tornadoes. Anyway, let's stay caught up with you guys. Trying to make little girls think it's normal, sickos. Oh, it's so disgusting. Well, and I think also it's just like a dog whistle, except that it's not that subtle. It's just like a call to like the Trumpstein files types of people to draw them into that company, that's a company that's friendly with that disgusting crap. Because it's like a club. It's just like the whole beef jerky eating club, and then all these people have that dirt on each other, and so they kind of own each other, and they have to stay loyal to each other, because if you misstep, then they can out you, and if they out you, then you can out them, which is I think exactly what's going on with Bibi and Daddy Vladdy and the Trumpster fire right now. OMG, that is so very messed up. Isn't it disgusting, Michael? Yeah, you weren't here last night to see that crap. Sorry to traumatize you with it. I was stunned. I'd never heard anything about it. I think it was Granny Annie that brought it up. And I was glad she did, because it's good to be aware of these things. I mean, it would be really easy to trick little kids into thinking that that's cool, right? I was going to say they were probably trying to cater to S&M and to gay guys, but yes, they were not for us. That looks like a runaway with a haunted doll. Yeah, haunted doll is a good way to phrase it, for sure. I like demon doll. Billy was here and she came up with demon doll, right? No, it wasn't me. I don't know how to pronounce it. Oh no, I thought you did. I thought you did the in the second video. I thought you did the thing, but maybe that was a different word. Maybe you were helping me with another word. Lolita Bear was right after me too. And like the Lolita, you guys probably know the story, and it's a really gross story about a man in love with a 12-year-old, and he's abusing her, and then that's what little E called his airplane, the Lolita Express. And the first time the First Lady and the Supreme Leader consummated their relationship was on the Lolita Express. Like, that is some twisted crap. That is not right. Like, that is all kinds of crazy. Like, her connection to little E, obviously his connection to little E, it's much worse than any of us can imagine, I'm sure. Yes, their bags are not okay. Celine Dion, evil baby clothes and demons on Teddy is very scary. Celine Dion did that crap? That's horrible. I didn't know that she had anything to do with that. Yeah, their advertising is sick. It really is. I had to sleep during a Category 5 hurricane. OMG, Granny Annie, that's nuts. I cannot even imagine. Glass broke all night. I would wake up and check my wet head to make sure no blood. Worst night ever. Oh my goodness. Was that in Cabo? Dang. Yeah, the noises of the things breaking is terrible. Like, that is some of the scariest stuff. No, not me. Annabee says, okay. Who was helping me with the phonetics last night? Or was that a dream that I had? That's hilarious. I guess I always think it's you because it's usually you. OMG, Annie, I'm really sorry that you had to go through this type of event, and God, I really pray that you don't ever have to go through it again. Amen. Even like a category 3 would be bad, but a category 5, and yeah, checking your wet head to make sure it's not the red stuff. Yikes. Um, oh, Lolita was the name for the teen that shot the wife of her married boyfriend, Joey Buttafuoco. And could he have had a worse name? People called her Lolita. Amy, I can't remember her last name, but her first name was Amy. And then, I've watched interviews over the years with his ex-wife. I think they finally got a divorce. At first, like, she completely believed Joey, that this chick was just crazed and that he didn't do anything wrong. And then I think a few years later, let me see, Joey, but Fuco. It was just like, could you have a worse last name? Divorce. Let's see. Mary Jo Buttafuoco. He got a divorce from his first wife. She filed for divorce in California on February 3rd, 2003, ending their marriage that began in 1977. Following the divorce, he married somebody else. But when did this situation happen? When they were, man, and her, like, talk about gaslighting. When did it happen? Because, yeah, I think it was a long time later. Well, in 1992, he was convicted for statutory rape of 17-year-old Amy Fisher. But when was the attack? When did the Amy Fisher shoot her in the face? Was it that same year? Yeah, it was 1992 when she was shot in the face by the mistress. So it wasn't for 11 years before she, like, wrapped her mind around the whole thing and divorced the guy. Isn't that wild? 11 years. Damn. I like, how many kids did they have? And Mary Jo kids. Because she was just so busy being a mom, probably. They had 2 children, a son and a daughter. And how old were they when it happened? I wonder. They were 12 and 9 when it happened. So I think the little boy is older, 12 years old, and the little girl was 9 years old on the day that she was assaulted by a 17-year-old on their front doorstep. I wonder if the kids were home. I don't remember if the kids were home when it happened. Let me see if I can ask. Ask AI. Were the Buttafuoco when Amy shot Mary Jo? I wish my voice to text was working. Were they home? Let's see what AI says. Not that it's always accurate. No, the children weren't home, it says. Thank goodness. That would be so scary. So it was a Tuesday afternoon around 11:30. And then was she able to call the police, or who called for help? Do you guys remember? I want to ask it that. Let's see if it'll work. Who called 911 for Mary Jo Buttafuoco? Let's see. it didn't do it. 1 second. Who called 911 for Mary Jo Buttafuoco? And then didn't he do like a reality show or something? The wife of a neighbor named Joe, a retired New York City police officer, called 911 after seeing Mary Jo lying on her front stoop. The neighbor Joe was across the street when his wife noticed that Mary Jo was outside and alerted him. Joe initially thought Mary Jo might just be resting. When he approached her motionless body and rolled her over, he found a shell casing. Recognizing the severity of the situation, he shouted for his wife to call 911. Wow, if he hadn't found her, she might not have survived that. Mary Jo has credited the quick actions of these neighbors as one of the miracles that helped her survive the 1992 shooting by Amy Fisher. I wonder if Amy Fisher is still in jail. I got to ask one more question to my AI. Sorry. Amy Fisher today. So she's 51 years old. And oh my goodness, it looks like she's been out of jail for a long time. Life after prison, yeah. So she wrote a book that became a bestseller in 2004. She had 3 children before divorcing in 2015. She reunited with Mary Jo Buttafuoco in sessions televised for Entertainment Tonight and its spinoff, The Insider. Fisher said she wanted to heal and move on with her life. However, 2 years later, she said she felt no sympathy for Mary Jo without giving an explanation because she's a freaking psycho. Fisher and Joey Buttafuoco eventually reunited for the first time at the 2006 Lingerie Bowl for the coin toss. Gross. She appeared as a cast member in the 5th season of the reality television series Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew. And then there was the sex tape and adult entertainment career. How disgusting. So check out this picture of her from 2010. This is how I could tell she was out of jail, because you're not going to get makeup and a glamour shot like that in jail. But how sad that she's just like being a sleaze still. I mean, you can't really tell from the image in the phone, but if you Google her and you look at the image yourself, you can see that not only does she look like a sleaze, she also just kind of looks fake, like a freaking Barbie doll. Like, she probably really is a true sociopath. I mean, she's pretty. She's prettier than I would have expected because she's such a disgusting individual. Okay, let's stay caught up with my friends here. Cabo, September 14th, 2014, after the hurricane was worse. No food or water for many. I lived by the Navy and got power first. Well, that's fortunate, huh? I was so sick with recently cured infections, but living through the hurricane gave me confidence I needed in a foreign country to survive. Wow, that's wild. Got a little tickle in my throat. One sec. And then I got an ice cube in my mouth that I didn't want. That's the problem when the ice cubes are small. I'd like to keep them large so they don't go down when you don't want them to go down. LOL Jazz. Mary Jo took the cheater back. Granny Annie, I'm really happy to hear that you are doing better from the hurricane. Well, when you think about it, 11 years later, she got a divorce, meaning that her 9-year-old would have been 20. when they got the divorce. So, I mean, so many people want to get the kids out of the house, like grow the kids up before the divorce, which, in some situations, I'm sure that's not a wise choice. I mean, but you just do your best. Granny Annie, I'm feeling happy to hear that you're doing better from the hurricane. Reminds me of Butterface. Yes. Michael, thanks. You are very welcome. Hey, Billy Blue Heart, you're here. Hey, my dear. We were talking about the demon baby or the demon bags, demon teddy bear bags. Again. So should we recap? Like, what was the first thing I came on to tell you guys? Billy, did you know that Bibi is the godfather of Jared Kushner? So the president's son-in-law's godfather is Bibi, for real. Meaning that he's kind of, in a way, maybe Ivanka's godparent by marriage. But I just found this out today and my mind was blown. And it seems like Bibi is either gravely injured or possibly deceased because of the AI proof of life videos that they've been making about him. And what was the other real stunning thing? The real stunning thing, I think, was the Iran school bombing was a double tap and maybe a triple tap. Did you know these things? Those are the things I came on to say. And now we're at the tail end of it. So it's lovely to see you here. Thanks for stopping in. We'll stay on for a few more minutes since Billy just got here. Well, we're already at an hour and 20 minutes. I went into a time warp, didn't I? And was it you that helped Jazz enunciate those awful handbags last night? The ball bags. Bibi is godfather of Jared. I know. Seriously. Like, let's see what AI has to say about this. I trust my source. My source is Rosie's Insight. But I also think he might not be alive anymore. And I linked up in the description the Rosie's Insight video about that and Keith Edwards' video about the possibility of him not being well enough to make a proof of life video, except an AI one. Godparent. And then when you think about this war, it just gets even worse, right? Jared Kushner, a key advisor in the Trump administration, has maintained a close, long-standing relationship with the prime minister. Let's see, though. Decades-long relationship that transitioned from a family relationship to critical diplomatic alliance during the Trump administration. Deep personal and family history. Their bond is rooted in personal connections dating back to Kushner's childhood. The childhood bed anecdote. During the visits to the U.S. in the 1990s, Bibi was a guest at the Kushner family home in Jersey. He famously slept in Jared's childhood bedroom while Jared, then a teenager, slept in the basement. Well, that is a little questionable. Family ties. Jared's father was a top donor to Bibi's political campaigns. A family lawsuit even revealed that Charles had paid Bibi hundreds of thousands of dollars in speaking fees. So, yes, my mind is blown too, and I'm tripping. I know. This whole war is tripping, huh? Seriously. So when you think about Kushner and that butt wipe Witkoff going over to have peace negotiation discussions with Iran without any training or any coaching or anything, and then now we're where we're at. I mean, it makes perfect sense that Jared is basically in bed with Bibi, and that Donnie is too. It's insane. I can almost hear you shouting, "What?" Jared on the hit show YouTube channel called Adventures with Purpose. No, different Jared. Jared is married to Jared Kushner is married to Ivanka Trump. But yeah, that Jared was a piece of work too, wasn't he? Ball is a some type of god, by the way. Jared, the husband of Ivanka. Did Bibi get anheshed? Good question. I mean, he might have gotten hit by a bomb and they just don't want to admit it because it's like admitting defeat, right? And maybe that's part of why our administration is scrambling so much, because I think that our supreme leader was taking orders from Bibi, and then if Bibi's not there to give him orders anymore, he's going to be at a loss. But his other guidance, I think, has always been Daddy Vladdy, who's now helping Iran. So it really seems like Bibi lured our dear leader into this war and did a bait and switch kind of thing. But maybe the bait and switch was just that he got hit, right? So yeah, I wonder too about the Ayatollah Khomeini's son that has been in power allegedly for the last 3 weeks, but there's been no sightings of him, no videotapes, no audio tapes, nothing. So if he was at the house when his father and 5 or 6 other family members all got blowed up, wouldn't he have gotten blowed up too? And maybe he survived, but maybe he's in rough shape. Maybe he's on life support. And same thing with Bibi. You are correct, Billy. Is a demon. Yiddish means Lord Master, and Hebrew means Lord Master. What? The Levant got wild back in the day. That's crazy, Billy. They just dropped the Baal, a storm god, and a storm god. What? Did I miss something? Speaking fees, aka payoffs. Yeah, Granny Annie, you nailed it. Speaking fees. That's like Brendan Carr paying the U.S. government a prize. That's how it was phrased. Brendan Carr paid the United States government prize money for allowing him to buy TikTok. Come again? That's called a bribe. Pay to play, right? The Joys of Yiddish by Leo Rostin. 1971 edition. How is Shanda doing, and has anyone heard from her in a little while? She's been doing some lives, I think, not too often, but I was in one of her lives a few weeks ago, and she was just kind of going in a different direction with, I'm not even sure what, was it like quantum physics and stuff that was kind of like beyond me. Like, I didn't really understand. I was trying. I hung in there for a while because, yeah, um, she seems like she's doing well. And Ara stopped in for a brief minute last night. That was nice to see Ara. But we're all wondering how Fred's doing. Um, Mark stops in every so often. And who else are hardcore folks that we're all used to seeing in here? Anybody that you can think of? But thanks so much for coming in and hanging out tonight. It is 10 o'clock. Maybe we should wrap up because tomorrow's Monday. You know how Mondays are. So, to recap the crazy for Billy, especially, um, the link in the description to the Midas Touch video. Wait, no. Midas Touch is saying, I did not put a link in the description, but maybe I will now. In one of their videos from today, they were saying that they think that our supreme leader is looking for a 9/11 type of event to distract from the Trumpstein files. I've been saying that for 6 months, so I think they're watching my content because they're running out of ideas, but I'm kidding, of course. But I'm glad that they're saying it too. And things have gotten so off the rails with the war in Iran, the excursion, with the little day trip in Iran, that that now they're going to have to pull out the Trumpstein files to distract from the war because it's gone sideways, toe up. But the big deals of why I came on tonight was to speak about the Iran school that was bombed on the first day of this war, that it was allegedly a double strike or even a triple strike. So that's not so accidental. And then the fueling crash, the National Air Guard, is that right? The Air National Guardsmen, the 6 that passed away, 3 of them were from the Columbus area, Ohio, which I have this little conspiracy theory that there's a lot of attention grabbing, headline grabbing crises happening in Ohio ever since Les Wex was deposed. And you know that they actually went to his house to depose him? I figured that they met up with him at like a law office in downtown Columbus or something. The politicians were initially trying to force him with the subpoena to come to Washington, D.C. for the deposition to be at the Capitol. And he is 87, so you'll give him that, but he's also a billionaire. So he made them come to him. No wonder he was acting like so squirrely and gamey, because it was all just a game to him and it was his territory. So it was basically like he was pissing all over them the whole time. So I'm going to watch the rest of it. But the thing with the fuel, the refueling planes, the disaster that killed 6 soldiers, 6 Americans, is that I feel like they're trying to blame the victims, saying that, well, they did it wrong and therefore they crashed into themselves or something. And it sounds to me like they were shot down by enemy fire when they were in a neutral air zone. That's my opinion. But like, it's just like the gaslighters to blame the victims rather than to admit that, they got basically got caught with their pants down. I mean, bad cliche, but you know what I mean. That rather than admitting a huge error in this war, they're trying to say that these experts screwed up and did it wrong and they all died because they weren't good at their jobs, when they were all like top notch, like they were the people that did the training. They all had like 10 and 20 years experience. So it doesn't seem very likely that they screwed up. And so the school being a double or triple tap is a huge deal. The fueling crash, the Bibi being the godparent of our president's son-in-law, absolutely insane. And then the things going on with our media, with Brendan Carr putting out a social media announcement that everybody's got to get in line or they're going to lose their broadcasting license, and Donnie putting out a Truth Social post saying all kinds of crazy, that it's all about him and nobody can say anything bad about him ever again because he's perfect. Let's set this down and sign off. Say goodnight to my friends here. Thanks again for coming by, you guys. BoobTube, thank you, Anna Bees. Yeah, BoobTube, totally. Mrs. Amir, yes, we get to see those friends too. So Mrs. Amir came in just like a week ago, and I hadn't seen her in a while. BoobTube, we do get to see routinely, which is lovely. So yeah, are there any other good friends that we're forgetting about? And we apologize, good friends, if we're forgetting about you, which is why you should come in more. Well, like Watsy Obsession, and yeah, she was not in the chat yesterday, but she like made the first comment on the live when it was posted a few hours before it started. What else? Reading Gustav Meyrich novels, y'all. I don't even know what that is. I'm going to write that down if I can find my pen. Gustav Meyrich novels. I'll check that out because you're a smart one. I want to be like you. So whatever it is, I'm going to copy you and read it too. No, I'm just kidding. But maybe, you never know. I haven't really read a book since Virginia Gouffre's book. But I do need to buckle down and watch the rest of that deposition of Les Wex, because I'm sure there's going to be some newsworthy things that I want to share with you guys. So I'll try to get that done, and then we can talk about that tomorrow. And I'm probably going to have to do my live at about 3 in order to get it done tomorrow. So it'll be earlier than usual. Have a wonderful night. Much love, y'all, so much. And thank God that you are very special to me. And thank you all for your prayers. Amen. Thank you, Mr. Michael. It's awesome to see you. And I hope that things get better with your brother-in-law. And I hope that the storm, that you weather well through the storm. I'm concerned these death cults are trying to end the world. Sigh. Oh, I totally think they are, Billy. It's not like they're just accidentally blowing the world up. They're doing it on purpose. Like they're trying to thin the herd. Take care, Michael. Yes, you too, Billy darling. And God bless everyone. Amen. Adios. Good night, everyone. Sleep well. Love you guys. Thanks again for coming in and hanging out, and see you soon. Hopefully tomorrow around 3. I'll try to post it in the morning.